Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Fork. In this video we are going to speak about the most important information, about the most important news about what is happening in the market right now. We are going to speak about the meme coins, about the CPI index, about new economics details that just published in the United States of America, how it's going to affect about the interest rate, about the inflation, and about the next Bitcoin price for the next few weeks and few months. So if you are watching my video for the first time, what you have to do is just click on the subscribe button and the like button as well. So let's start with this very important video. The price of the Bitcoin is 27,400 US dollars. We fell by 2.91 percentages. We are going to speak about the reason, and maybe the reason is just because the United States of America is selling their own Bitcoins. Of course, we are going to speak about that in this video. The price of the Ethereum is 1,800 US dollars. We can see that nothing is actually changing in the last weeks, in the last 2-3 weeks, because we are still at the same prices of 27, 28, 29, 30,000 US dollars. We are going to speak about the resistance and the support levels in this video. But before I'm starting, I want to tell you guys, thank you very much for your support. Since the last video, I'm seeing a lot of new people that actually subscribe to my channel. So what I want you to do, and thank you very much, is just to click on the subscribe button, like button, and the bell. It's really helping to my channels to be promoted in YouTube and to make it that more people will see that. By the way, in the descriptions you can see links to the Binance registration that you can receive 10 percentages on your trading fees, and Bybit registration 5,000 US dollars as a bonus on a Bybit. So again, thank you very much for your support, for your subscribes and likes for my last video. The next thing that I want to speak about, this is of course the liquidation that's happening in the market, because yesterday, let's open the 1 hourly chart. Yesterday we can see actually this crazy pump when we saw in the markets. A lot of people actually opened here long positions and believed that we are going to break the next resistance of 29,000 US dollars. And since then we saw, I think from my point of view, this is just FUD, but of course we are going to speak about that as well. We saw this crazy dump to the downside to 26,800 US dollars, and everyone who had more than 10 of leverage is actually got liquidated. But I think for people that actually believe in the next bull run, in the next small bull run of the spot trading, that this is a very good news, because all these people that actually liquidated, the manipulator with this money going to pump the market in the future. But of course we are going to speak about that in the second part of this video. You can see the top 3 liquidations. Again, you can see that the PEP, everyone is hearing about the people that making money on the PEP, but no one is speaking about the people that liquidated on the PEP. And look at these crazy numbers, 474,000 just liquidated in the last 4 hours in this meme tokens, and in the last 24 hours 3.4 million of dollars. And you can see that in the 1000 PEP liquidated $2 million. Guys, be very cautious when you are actually trading with them, and I'm going to speak why. Because you can see that all the bloggers, all these guys that everyone know, and all these bloggers that making a lot of technical analysis on YouTube, you can see that they are actually promoting these meme tokens. I think from my point of view that actually they have them in their own wallets, and they know what they are doing, and they know what they are publishing them. Actually, by the regular things, you can see that always they are publishing about these meme tokens, and always they are speaking about these meme tokens when the prices are at all-time highs. And actually, I think from my point of view, and I already spoke in my last video about top 5 meme coins overview for the long terms. I think for the short term and the mid term, the meme season is unfortunately over. I spoke about that in my last video. I spoke about my top 5 meme coins that actually will bring us a very good profits in the next bull market. Of course, this is not a financial advice, but always by 95 percentages, all these bloggers, all these people are always actually publishing and making advertiser for these memes when the price is at the all-time highs. We can see that Ben Armstrong at BitBoy Crypto, that I think everyone know, and I really like this guy. I really like what he's doing. About his shows, about what he's thinking, but always by 95 percentages, when everyone and where these actually bloggers are starting to speak about these meme tokens, this is when the meme season is over, and we can see the trending meme coin season is actually trending, and by 99 percentages, when it's trading, it means that it's already over. Be really cautious when you're trading with leverage. So yesterday we saw this crazy pump that we already spoke about, but this dump is just started when the United States of America started to sell Bitcoin on the markets. Yeah, we can see that they have 50,000 of Bitcoins in their wallets, and they sold yesterday 9,800 US dollars. So of course this is a very negative, and we can see this crazy dump to the downside. But what is very positive in these things, that someone is actually bought these Bitcoins back, and I think that this is justified. I think that even if they're going to sell their even 50,000 Bitcoins, even tomorrow, nothing is going to happen, guys, because this candle, this hourly candle, means that someone is actually buying these Bitcoins, and this is very bullish. We can see that by the history, and we can see that by the history of 2023, before every pump we are seeing this dump, that actually the reason for this dump, this is liquidation of all the long positions that people are opening in the market. We saw it in January, we saw it in March, and we saw it right now. So January, March, and in May, we're seeing the same thing every 2 months. Might be that we are before of the last pump, that finally we're going to break this 28,000 US dollars, that people who is already subscribed to my channel know, and we are speaking about that since January of 2023, that at the 28,000 we are expected this crazy volatility, this crazy manipulation, because I think from my point of view, the 28,000, this is the level where the last bull market is actually started. This is the level where Elon Musk is officially bought Bitcoins to Tesla and SpaceX. So we already spoke about this manipulation. I think that this is just manipulations, and this is just to make more fear in the market, that more people will speak about 10, 12k thousand for Bitcoin that actually coming, that I think from my point of view that will never come. But this is, and this situation of these dumps, this is a very good reason to people to speak again about 10, 12,000, to make more fear in the market and to take more money from people. So the next thing that I want to speak about is about this BRC20, about the tokens on Bitcoin. We can see that the average transaction fee on Bitcoin is 14 US dollars, is very high. It was 30 US dollars. The fees transaction is very high. By the history, guys, every time when we are seeing more than 20 US dollars by the Bitcoin, we can see that already the all-time highs for all these hypes of new tokens, new NFTs is already over. So be very cautious when you are doing these things, when you are trading with these BRC tokens, where you are trading with the ordinals NFT. It might be that it will have another few days, another few weeks of hypes, but I think, and every time by the history, when the fees are so high of the Bitcoin, we saw it in 2017 as well, but unfortunately we can see it. We saw that in 2017 the Bitcoin fees was about 50 50-60 US dollars, as we're seeing at April of 2021, and it was the all-time high of the hype. So be very, very careful where you are trading with all these meme coins, where you are trading with all these hypes of Bitcoin. We are spoke about them, so really be careful when you are doing that. The second part of this video is very, very important because the CPI index is published and the inflation is lower, is 4.9 percentages. What the Federal Reserve is doing is actually working. But guys, and this is very, very important, we can see that Federal Reserve is already thinking about pausing their increase of the interest rate. And this is very, very important, guys, because right now there is a lot of new problems with new banks, guys, and we can see that new banks in the pre-market already have 24 percentages of discount. This bank price was 50 US dollars just in the beginning of this year. So really be careful with this banking system. I think that the banking crisis is just started. I spoke about that in my last video when I spoke about memes. Just click on my profile. Of course, don't forget to click on the subscribe button as well. This is very, very important for you and for me. It will be a big, big pleasure. So it's very important that the inflation is working, but don't forget that the inflation is still so high, about 5 percentages, 4.9. The banking crisis, I think, that just started, and actually it's going to be more worse and worse with the time. And if the Federal Reserve will decrease, their interest rate, so it means that the inflation will be much, much higher, and then the Federal Reserve will have to make this decision what he want to help, to inflation or to the interest rate and to the crisis, to the next recession. So really be careful when you are doing that. I think from my point of view, and the people who is already subscribed to my channel know that from my point of view, until the end of the year, we are going to see pump. Actually, I'm waiting that we are going to break this 28,000 resistance in the near future. I'm going to speak in the end of this video when I think it's going to happen. But when we are going to break this 28,000, I think that even 40,000 in the near future, really like to be until the end of this year. I think that these pumps might happen. The banking crisis might happen. It might continue. I think that, and we saw the statistics that about 400, 500 banks already in the same problem like this PacWest Bank, the bankruptcy, that all these banks might continue. Be really careful. And the one more reason why I really think that the banking system is going to collapse and the recession will come is because the regulation want to make the short position, actually want to close all the short positions. And actually, this is very, very bad sign. It means that the regulation knows, the regulation is really thinking that the banks are going to be bankrupt, more banks going to be closed, and they don't want to give you the opportunity to make money in the market, because more than 400-500 right now in very bad situation. And the reason is that they are wanting to actually close the opportunity to open short positions on a banking system. This is a very, very bad. Be really careful, guys, when you are really believed to Jerome Powell when he's speaking about that the banking crisis is over. And this is the reason why I'm always telling you guys, click on the subscribe button, because I'm always speaking about the most important situation in the market. We can see that the jobless claims is actually much, much more higher by 10 percentages of what it was forecast. We waited for 245 jobless claims, and we had right now 264. It means that might be the recession is coming, bad situation in the market. Just think what will happen to all these banks, well, when JP Morgan will not buy them. Just think about that. Because right now the First Republic Bank, JP Morgan buy them. But just think when 100 banks going to be bankrupt, what will happen to this section? And this is when the problems will start, and this is where the problems will flow up. I think from my point of view, it might be in the end of this year, October, November, December. I am waiting for big dump in the markets. very bad situation. But until then, and when we will break the 28,000, I think that the market will look very good. Because you can see that actually the problems are just started. Everyone is speaking about them, but I think that until the end of the year, everything will be very, very bullish. One another thing before I'm ending with this video, and guys, please give me your feedbacks. Just click on the subscribe button. It will means that your feedback is very, very positive. Click on the like button as well. It will help to YouTube to promote my videos in the space. So what is happening right now when we broke this support of 28,000? The next thing that will be very, very important, if in the end of the week we are going to be above or below this support of 28 that right now is actually very strong resistance. If we are going to be below, it means that my target might be even 25, even 24,000 in the short term, in the next few days. But I think that in the next few months we might broke this 28,000, this 30,000, touch and even touch 40,000. I spoke about that and I draw these lines in my last video. If we are going to be below 28,000, this is a very, very bad signal. And this is, I think, from my point of view, again, not a financial advice, a very good point to open a short position for the next week that will start on the 15th of May. Thank you very much for watching my videos. It was CryptoFork. See you in the next cryptocurrency video. Don't forget to click on the like and on the subscribe button. Thank you very much again. Bye bye.